So here's the deal. For those of you who've been following me on my reels, I'm in a 75 hard challenge. 75 hard challenge. And pretty much 75 days, I gotta drink a gallon of water, work out twice a day, 45 minutes each, not consecutively. And one workout has to be outside, 10 pages a day. And stick to a diet and take progress photos. So in this case, I'm documenting my experience. So for this run, I want to kind of get you caught up of everything. You know, what happened with RV, how we end up in Phoenix, what do we do in Phoenix, how did we end up, in Houston, Texas? Yeah, I want to share all the information with you. So make sure you stick to the end. This week was kind of hard starting out. I haven't been running and stuff, so when I first started running, I couldn't even run far. I couldn't even run for like 5 minutes. Haven't ran in years. So I'm gonna start with a jog. Doing well so far. I was worried about my legs because my legs are on fire. Just give me 3 months. Just 3 months. A week has passed and I'm doing a lot better. So it's been great. Definitely feel a lot better. Gotta keep switching hands because my arms get tired. But it's very important to me that I finish this and make a life change. I already did it with my diet, being vegan. Helped a lot by detaching myself from food. So that's been amazing. People ask me, like, why'd you go vegan? And I'm not here to preach why people need to stop eating meat. For me, I wanted to create a standard. I had very bad standards when it comes to eating. So I needed to find a way that was healthy, but that helped me draw the line between when I can or should and should not eat. So I decided to go plant-based. And it's been amazing. I can eat what would seem like a lot of food, but at the end, I don't feel fatigued. I mean, just last night, I ate a pretty big meal and still managed to do my workout that night. So it's been very beneficial, changing my diet, and it's truly, honestly, probably prepped me for this moment. Sorry if the camera's shaking. I'm trying to hold it still. I want to take this moment to talk about a little bit of what happened and catch you up on our journey. So 2 years ago and some change, we decided to put the camper in a campsite and go stay at my parents' house while we wait for the last few weeks of Tia's pregnancy. So for Israel. And so when we did that, I decided to take a break from the call center that we were building. Had a few agents working for us. And we had about 200 people we were trying to process to start working. And about 20 people actually working for us. So it was enough to put food on our plates, but we had to spend more time in building it so we can, make more money from it. I had a friend that I worked with before in the past asked me to help her shoot a documentary and do the cinematography. So I did. And she was supposed to pay me a hefty little bag. And we spent like a week to get this done. And after the week, she tells me that she spent the money for the budget on things that I told her not to spend it on. So she ended up just giving me $200. And that really destroyed us. That really hurt us, I'll say. Because we found ourselves behind on the bill on the camper. And when I could have been building my call center and putting these agents through, 200 waiting to get processed, I took time out to do what I truly love, and that's shoot a documentary. So that money was supposed to help us get the payments on the campers like 2.5 months, maybe 3 months ahead of time, and pay for a couple, and allow us to pay for a couple months in the Thousand Trails. So we had no bills other than buying food, of course. But the call center was gonna take care of the food. So anywho, so we went ahead and I found myself working for Winolo, trying to make so much extra money while we build a call center, because there were some places that we camped at that had no signal. So that also caused the delay. And I'm gonna turn around because there's no sidewalk here. Yeah, let's turn around. All right. So I was able to follow some jobs with Winolo that was paying me very nice. We were getting paid like $2,500 a week, which was able to pay for everything. And we were good. We started adventuring out a little bit. Whew. Okay. All right. So while we were in Missouri, I took a really big job on a project that was gonna pay us a good $4,000 in just like a month and a half. Working the job, couldn't stand it.
So this person, a supervisor, that for some reason just has it out for me, just don't like me. And that's really hard because every time I work these jobs, I get really good reviews from my leads because I do a really good job. But this lady, she don't like me. So she tells me to go ahead and take these here shelves and that's sitting inside the store, saran wrap it, right, and bring it outside, which I do. But then when I get out here and she gets out here, she says, oh, you need to separate all the different sizes, separate them. So the bigger ones on the same pallet, smaller ones on the same pallet together. But you told me to saran wrap the whole thing. Like you knew this before you told me to saran wrap it. She knew that. But because she don't like me, she just sends me out here to just waste my time. Mind you, this thing was bigger than that and it was heavy as hell. But you know what? When she told me to do that, I said, okay, no problem. Like I know you think you got me doing busy work, but I don't care because logically thinking, right, I'm done after, my requested days are up. Like I'm getting paid to be busy. Like I can either help you or not. And that's crazy because they told me to separate all these.
Now, I'm gonna send it all back.
Now you heard that, right? I didn't make that up. So for all you people who feel like you can't control your emotions, think logically, because I don't mind being out here doing busy work as long as I'm getting paid.
I don't care about people and their drama when I'm trying to make money to support my family. So we end up doing well, sitting tight in Missouri, nice little campsite actually.
So today we are leaving Missouri, and just kind of clean out the car because like our old camper, it gets pretty messy on travel day. So I'm gonna clean it out so the dog is not eating everything inside there. It's about 5:45. Trying to head out before it gets busy on the street. All right, girls. Next up, New Mexico.
Interesting. We're going to Mexico?
Yeah.
We're going to New Mexico.
Stop, coach. Move.
Well, I've never been there before.
Me
Us
neither.
either.
From there, Tia started having some post-pregnancy pains. And so we knew, okay, we need to try to get someplace a little more comfortable to settle down, because we need to make sure that she can get to the doctor and get things checked out and everything. We had a choice. The traveling was great, but between her pain and me just spending a lot of time at work, and the gas was getting really bad, we decided to make a decision where we wanted to stay. So we had a choice between Florida, Oklahoma, or Phoenix. And we heard Phoenix, their cost of living, the cost of living was a lot cheaper out there than Atlanta. But unfortunately, we didn't do enough research, because after the pandemic, a lot of places, the prices went up. Anyway, we ended up getting there, because, I couldn't work all the hours I was trying to work to get caught up and do the plan that we had of pushing our payments back. I just really wanted to pay the camper for a couple months and Thousand Trails like we originally planned, so we could focus on the call center. We just found ourselves getting pushed back more and more in our payments. So we ended up deciding to go to Phoenix. And when we got to Phoenix, our money was so depleted. So we looked for some long extended stay hotels to be in. And at some point, the camper got repoed. And it was just so sad, because at the last minute I went to drive it behind this, I don't know what it was, like a mechanic shop or something. So the tire had popped on the travel trailer, and we got it posted up in the back of this business. Unfortunately, they're nice enough to let us keep it here until we get the tire fixed. But yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen while we were in the middle of traffic. I talked to the guy, asked if it was okay. He said, yeah, tire had popped. It was crazy. We were definitely in a very interesting place. I'm not going to put it all on that person, that told me she was going to pay me what she said she was going to pay. Because, I made the decision to do it. Even though I never worked with her, when it comes to her being over the money. But yeah, I'm not gonna say it's all her fault. That was my decision. But we ended up being at a campsite, and we ended up going to this hotel, this extended stay hotel, and staying there for a while. And we had a little bit of money, and money was just running out. I had to make a decision, like what I was gonna do. So I got Lyft. I rented a car, started doing Lyft for a while. It was helping us, again, put food on the plate, pay for our stay. But then I can't stand driving, y'all. Like, I know I was doing all the driving with this camping life, but I couldn't stand it. That's why usually if it was like a 10-hour trip, I would do that whole 10 hours just to get where I need to go. But Lyft was too much, so I decided not to do Lyft anymore, and try to figure out another option. And I remember a friend, before I left Atlanta, told me about this opportunity called post-construction cleaning. Now, I've never owned a cleaning business before, and we didn't know anything about post-construction cleaning, but she had said that this was an untapped industry. So we're like, hey, let's give it a try. So we were staying at Extended Stay, which was quite an experience.
Look, it's cardboard. Oh, well, check here. It's cardboard. Yeah, cardboard. It's hard.
One day, T and I were doing some research, and she found this corporate office in Scottsdale, Arizona. It was a CVS corporate office, and they were looking to get their cleanup after construction. So I went there, we signed a contract, worked out a deal, and I thought that it was gonna take like a couple days for the money that they were paying me, but it only took 4 hours to clean up the construction. And that was like my first experience with post-construction cleaning. And in 4 hours, I made $800. Freaking blew my mind that I made that much money that quick. We started getting gig after gig after gig after gig. We started doing commercial cleaning too, not just post-construction, because sometimes you have breaks in between. And so we had so many clients that I could not do them all myself. So we had to hire employees. All right, so I just got the team set up. Now I gotta give them a few more stuff before I head to school. Today's a very interesting day because I start school today. At the same time, my wife and I, we have a business, a post-construction cleanup business. So, I'm having to leave early, go set the team up, get them started, and then go to school. So my wife is going to take the car, Tia's going to take the car, and she's going to be mobile. So if the team needs anything for their little greasy, it's dry here in Arizona, so I got to keep my face moisturized. But yeah, she's going to pretty much coordinate with our supervisor and what they need. Typically these jobs require a lot, so we're always getting to these job sites and finding out we need more things, whether it's sweeping compound for the concrete, whether it's caution tape to put up, tape, brooms, cleaning supplies, whatever the case may be. It's always something, so she's gonna be mobile with Genesis and Izzy to pretty much just run the play on trying to make sure that they have everything they need for success. So it's a busy day. I'm actually already gonna run late just because sadly this stuff is so unpredictable when it comes to trying to keep a schedule and everything. So unfortunately I'm running behind, so I'm actually gonna be late my first day of school just because fortunately it just worked. So anyway, I'm on my way now to go pick up Tia, Ava, Genesis, Izzy, so we can drop Ava off at school, and then Tia's gonna drop me off as well. So yeah, I feel kind of a little disappointed that I'm running late, but like what can you say? We got a business that we're running, and unfortunately there's a lot of unpredictability with that. So yeah, I'm on my way to get them down. Look at that. Supporting me on my first day. That's funny. No, look at y'all.
First day.
Oh, thank you.
Signs for you.
Yeah, I see that. Thank you. We were making money to the point where we were like, yo, we can do what we want. So my wife was like, why don't you do what you want to do? Because you supported me, while I was in the military and in this post-construction cleaning business. So I said, okay. So I didn't really know what I wanted to do at the time, but my wife was like, well, you like music, so do something in that. So we did a little research, and I ended up finding a school out in Gilbert or Tempe, Arizona, called CRAS, which I'm actually wearing a shirt, Conservatory of Recording Arts and Science. So I was gonna be go to school to be an audio engineer. So I went to school, I took the tour, freaking loved it. And I ended up going to the school and enrolling, and it was the most amazing experience I've ever had, with a hands-on trade type of school.
Okay. Like I said, if somebody wants to contact you, they can see exactly.
I mean, we've got to work in, they have multiple recording studios, so we got to always record, do projects. Barely make it to orientation on time because I had, I didn't have a team lead at the time, so I knew someone that, I could trust for the most part. who can kind of like lead everybody. But yeah, I had no real team leader or anything. So when I went to orientation, I had to come straight back to check on them. But anywho, we were just getting busy, and my wife was still coaching marriages. One job I had an interview. It's funny, I should find that clip. I had an interview. We got called to do an interview for our marriage company, and I was leaving a job site in the middle of trying to give people their work, and I was late to the interview because I was on the job site.
Give up, or they don't become dedicated to their partner. They're more about themselves. Hey, welcome to the show, bro. How you doing? This is Donnell, right? I'm Damon. Nice to meet you, bro. Nice to meet you. Welcome. We was just discussing, you know, some of the things that you guys advocate to help couples move their relationship forward.
So we were definitely taking on a lot. So what I decided to do, my biological father, we started talking more. I met him back in 2011, and we would talk on and off. He was having issues with his marriage. They had a son, and he was around 6 or 7 when they got a separation. And I was like, hey, you know, since you know you going through separation, and why don't you come? And he was, you know, saying, hey, I don't really have a place to stay. I'm staying in a hotel. I said, okay. Now I knew he had a history on, you know, with drugs, but you know, I asked him. I said, hey, you know, what's going on? You still doing drugs or anything? How you doing? He's like, no, I'm clean, and just, you know, doing little jobs here, staying at, you know, hotels or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, I'll tell you what, like, if you're done with drugs, you know, and you're really just trying to pick yourself back up, why don't you come work for us? You can stay with us. You don't have to pay rent or anything, and you just stay and you make money. And, you know, once you get your own place, then, you know, then I'll allow you to like supervise and lead a team. So I just had too many people to you know, to lead while I was at school. These jobs weren't getting done. It's like I would leave to go to school and then come back, and like, you know, they were like being lazy. They weren't doing their job. So anyway, he was like, yeah, I'll do that. I said, but are you sure off drugs? Because Phoenix was heavy on drugs, man. I mean, we were like in the heart of it, because we had no idea where good places were. Now, thinking back, we probably went to like Queens Creek. Beautiful place, great place to raise a family. But yeah, we didn't know. But anyway, I told him, I was like, it's a lot of drugs running rampant. Are you good? He said, yeah, I'm straight. I said, okay. So he came, and it was the best experience, like being able to spend time with my biological father, you know, because I was blood, you know, I got to learn a little bit more about myself just by spending time with him. Got really, really close. All right, go ahead and hit it. First photo.
What about the other half of the woman, sir?
Very, very close. It was amazing. I mean, we'd have to do some errands, leave the team, run some errands at Home Depot, and it was amazing just to, you know, just hang out or whatever. And then fortunately, he wasn't completely honest about him overcoming drug addiction, and the money we were giving him seemed to be disappearing pretty quick. And one day we got a call from a client saying that they seen alcohol bottles, like over $1,000 worth, missing. And I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe it because, you know, I was just like, I told him, I said, hey, you've never done anything wrong to me. I got you. Even my sister was like, I asked her before you know, what she thought about the idea of him coming here. And she was like, you know, nobody else is really nobody else wants to help him because he's burned his bridges. So I told him, I said, hey man, you never done anything to me. So, but yeah, they showed me the video camera footage, and sure enough, I see him still in the bottles. So I find out it was multiple clients that it was, you know, being affected by, and we ended up losing all our clients and losing our post-construction gigs because he was doing a lot of the gigs by himself. And we started going dry. So we finally rebuilt our family, had a nice apartment, you know, with our first gig that we had. We were able to, the first few gigs that we had, we were able to put down for an apartment. And we were, you know, had a dog, you know, we were really building ourselves. But, you know, again, the decision I made wasn't the best. So regardless of what he did, I take responsibility of that. And, you know, it was, the question was then, it's like, okay, do we, you know, leave Arizona because it's really expensive out there? Like our apartment was like $2,500, it was like over $2,000 a month. And so we decided to come to Houston because a little bit, my wife was like, well, look, don't leave school because you've already, they're like, I was literally like I was over halfway done. So she's like, you need to finish school. So, all right. So since I decided to take an internship in Houston, I told Tia, why don't y'all go to Houston? I'll stay with some roommates here, which is usually normal when adults go back to school. I'll stay, I will stay here or stay in Phoenix. And she was gonna wait for me in Houston until I go to my internship. And so when I finished school, I went to Houston, started my internship at a recording studio, got a marketing job for a business development company. And we were staying with my aunt for a while until I got back. And once I got back, we saved money, bought a car again because we had our truck repoed as well. After we lost all our contracts, we couldn't pay our apartment. Oh man, it was so bad. And so we moved to Houston, stayed with my aunt because we have family in Houston. My aunt lived in Houston, and saved up, bought a car, found a house, and that's where we are today. So now we are rebuilding again, and me and my wife are working together closer than ever to make sure that, you know, decisions are being filtered by both of us, and neither one of us are just making a single decision. So so that's where we are today. It was definitely an amazing experience. When we got to Phoenix and we made that video about why we decided to stop, that was right when we had started. We were making good money in post-construction, and sorry. When I first got there and I stopped working the lift job, I ended up getting working for a construction company doing forklift, and I was making good money there too. But I stopped that job because I was making more money in a day or in a couple days than I was in a whole month at construction jobs. So between transitioning from the construction job to post-construction cleaning, we were just making really good money, you know? So I'd like buying drones and all this kind of stuff. So, but it's definitely been a learning experience for us. We know now that, like I said, you know, we're constantly at heart, you know, wanting to be entrepreneurs and leaders. And ever since I got here and we've been out of survival mode, we've been able to truly find our purpose. Tia, she's in school for herbalism to be a holistic practitioner. It was crazy because she was in school while I was in school and while the girls were in school. So literally our entire family was in school. And I'm doing that. Was how you doing? Getting out of survival mode really helped us kind of focus on what we really want to do. And you know, I have a nonprofit that I'm building that's helping fathers and making amazing contacts. And Tia's already helping people, giving them remedies for their sicknesses and everything. And so it's been an amazing journey watching God provide, because there's been multiple times where it's like we didn't know where the money was coming from. There have been times where we just randomly had money drop in my account or her account. So it was completely God supporting us and just being there for us. And so I'm so grateful for his mercy and favor. And now we have an opportunity to really build, and that's what we've been doing, is just enjoying our family, enjoying building, best believe we will travel again, but we're gonna make sure that we have everything, all our T's crossed and I's dotted. So just wanted to share that with you, kind of get you caught up in where we are. And now we are in Houston, Texas, in a nice little cute home, thriving and enjoying, you know, our time together. So I don't have time to go back in there, so I told Monroe to come pick it up when he get a chance.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Woo! Boy, it's like a war zone up in there.
I know, right?
Oh my goodness. Izzy, what's going on, buddy? I thought we
He's
just...
sleepy, baby.
No, he's asleep?
Yeah, but you know, he want to see the action, so he's not allowing himself to rest. Oh, this is not true.
All right, so on our way to Crass. Whew. That phase, that part of the day is being put on intermission
Yeah.
until I get back after school.